Hello, my name is Larissa. Today I'm going to talk about a comic book. So I don't really normally read comic books, but somebody recommended to me, somebody who I trust to recommend books to me, recommended this for the comic book category in the first ever Kingston Libraries Adult Reading Challenge. So I decided to give it a go. She said that it's quite a good way to get into comic books for people who are not familiar. It's quite a good place to start. So I was very positively surprised. The book, by the way, I'm going to be talking about is the first book in the Sandman series by Neil Gaiman, one of my favorite authors ever. It's called Preludes and Nocturnes. So I was very positively surprised. I never expected to like it so much because I don't really read comic books, and I guess I didn't think I would enjoy them. But since then I've read actually a couple of other books in this series as well. And I'm definitely intending to finish the whole series. I think it's 12 books in total when I get a chance. But today is about the first one. So just to give you an idea what it's about, in Preludes and Nocturnes, an occultist attempting to capture death to bargain for eternal life accidentally traps her younger brother Dream instead. After his 70-year imprisonment, an eventual escape, Dream, also known as Morpheus, goes on a quest for his lost objects of power. On his arduous journey, Morpheus encounters Lucifer, John Constantine, and an all-powerful madman. This book also includes the story The Sound of Her Wings, which is an introduction to the character of Death. So I guess to people like me who don't really read comic books, that does sound a little bit weird. But I did really enjoy it. In typical Neil Gaiman fashion, the characters were all very well written and interesting. I think it's amazing what he can achieve with so few words and without having the luxury of setting and detailed descriptions. So it's quite a dark comic book, a little bit brutal at times, but at the same time it's very interesting, and it touches upon important, profound issues such as loneliness, life, death, hope, loss, and so on. So admittedly, I was confused initially. I think many people are when they read Neil Gaiman, and particularly this being my first comic book, I was a little bit confused, but when I got into it, I really got into it. And I read the second and the third one, I guess, if I remember correctly, this was a while ago, pretty much straight away. So I do recommend it if you're a comic book fan, or fan of graphic novels, maybe I should say, and if you haven't read this yet, I do recommend you read it. If you're not a fan of graphic novels but want to give it a shot, I recommend it as well. It worked for me. This is the first graphic novel I've ever read, and I'm looking forward to reading more. If you're not a fan of graphic novels and never ever want to read any at all, then if you're a fan of full-length normal fiction books, I can rave about Neil Gaiman and his fiction books instead. I have quite a few over here. One of the more recent ones I've read. So Neil Gaiman is great. Unsurprisingly, perhaps his graphic novels are great as well. So yeah, thank you and enjoy.